BYOT. Bring your own tacos.
Dick swinging.
You're listening to American Slacker Podcast.
We can say fuck.
With Matthew Gertz and Jesse Landers.
I don't care, I've been smoking, this is cool.
That's a decent amount of sausage.
This man needs a doctor!
Yeah, I just hope they're tasty.
What's up with these clowns, man?
Cut the lights and went through people's pockets.
Don't you point that at each other.
Let them smoke a little. You need to step it up to that point. We're not gonna lead with the.
We're not gonna lead with that.
So what did you end up doing on New Year's?
We went out, me and my girlfriend, her sister, and a bunch of our friends, we went out to City Beer Hall in Albany, a place that I love. It was actually a place I was telling you about.
The pizza place.
They give you these little coupons, man, every time you buy a beer, and what it's good for is this little ghetto pizza. They give you a
pizza
this
bagel?
ghetto back kitchen. It's kind of like a tortilla almost, like a really thick tortilla with a little bit of sauce, barely any sauce, and a little bit of cheese.
It's not the best
And
pizza, but it's free pizza.
It's horrible, but let me tell you, a couple drinks in, that shit is golden. You're craving it. And we couldn't actually get tickets for it on New Year's, which was disappointing because we were wasted.
Okay.
It was we Ubered there knowing we were gonna go hard.
They just ran out of pizza?
I think they had it there, man, but we just didn't get any tickets. I don't know why. They probably were limited. Who knows?
Right.
I saw food coming out of the kitchen. I don't recall, honestly, if I saw pizzas coming out of the kitchen. I just know the kitchen was open.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you had fun.
It was fun. Yeah. You guys, what did you guys do?
Oh, we were lazy as fuck. We're lame. Everyone was telling us to go out, and because, we're in our 20s, me and my girlfriend, and I actually had work early that day, so I got out in time to actually go do something. And we were looking around in the area, and we started, thinking about the Uber versus, having to drive, and one of us DDing and all that shit, so we decided not to go out. We just got a bottle of champagne from 7-Eleven, fucking ate a bunch of candy, watched the ball drop on, which is kind of shitty on the West Coast if you think about it, because it's not the real thing. They say it's live, but they show you the East Coast New Year's.
Yeah, because you guys don't have the equivalent of a monument style ball drop, right?
Right. I mean, they do stuff I feel like I was hearing the fireworks from San Francisco. Fireworks are not allowed in California at all. There's a lot of concern about forest fire and stuff like that. But they'll do the cities will do it off the piers and shit like that. But my neighbors were going crazy and launching shit all over the place.
That's ridiculous. That's why these big fires.
I could smell the sulfur in the air from the fireworks going off. It was pretty cool. I mean, we just, like I said, we kept it low key. Didn't spend too much money. I feel like Christmas
that's nice.
Kind of wiped us out.
Yeah. I don't blame you, man. Talking about the Uber shit. Fuck Uber on holidays. They surcharge at certain times. And, we were sitting there for a good 30 minutes trying to find a good price on an Uber, because it was insane, dude. And a good price never came. It kept going up, and then it would go down a little bit and go up more.
It's like stocks. It's like Bitcoin.
Dude, it was insane.
So hopefully everyone else had an awesome New Year's and enjoyed themselves and stayed safe.
Yeah. And this is the very first episode of the new year, too.
Oh, it is. That's right.
Welcome to American Slacker. I'm Matt.
And I'm Jesse. Happy goddamn New Year. 2018 sneaking up on you like that.
Hell yeah, man. Happened. Feels good. And I think we got to start this off, of course, by thanking the people that have been giving us gifts for a long time.
Oh, hell yeah. We got a couple of our Patreon supporters here to thank. First off, Dave Gunn. Big thank you to him. Good friend of ours. We've been playing a lot of PUBG with him on Xbox, which we've been enjoying some funny moments. Getting captured.
A lot of funny moments. Yeah.
Thank you for your support. We also have Kyle Nolan Bradford from the Crime Roulette podcast. I've been posting stuff in their Facebook group. I got a mention on their last episode, which awesome. Always makes you feel good.
They're good guys, yeah. Thanks, guys.
Go check them out if you like. They have an interesting sense of humor, those guys. It's definitely in line with me, so I enjoy it. Go check out Crime Roulette. And also Aaron W. He's tuned into a couple of our live streams, which has been nice. He's from the Yes and I Am podcast. So make sure
another great show.
Yeah, hilarious. Yeah. They were on a little bit of a hiatus, but I guess they're coming back soon. Some new content in the new year.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe, check out the old shit, and get ready for the new.
Oh, yeah.
And also, let's throw a quick shout out to the people that are watching us on Instagram Live right now. This is something new we're doing. We're not going to keep it up, so you'll only be able to see it while it's going on. And we'll try to be cool about letting you know when it's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, we put up a post on Facebook a couple of minutes before we started recording this, and also on our Twitter account, on our Instagram, so we're going to try and keep you up to date as to when that's going on. Now, we have a pod shout-out pick to make. This is how we give a little bit of love to the other podcasts out there. We got 7 retweets on our last pinned tweet for episode 74. We do have 1 through 6 for you to pick, Matt. So you get to pick 1 through 6. Whoever Matt picks, they win our next shout out.
I'm going to go with number 4.
Number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the Cinnabud podcast. And they're at CINE Bud Podcast. Cinnabud Podcast. To read their description for you, a podcast from TPNW, I'm guessing that's a podcast network, your high source for discussion on horror, sci-fi, and action entertainment. And it has the Twitter handles of the hosts here. We got at Izzy Sinbud and at Matt Sinbud. They're keeping it uniform.
What up? I like it.
Across
I like
the board.
that.
Go check them out. Big winners for the podcast shout out of the week. They're going to be on our next pin tweet. How you, as a podcast host, can get your podcast featured. Go and retweet our pin tweet for this episode 75. And you will be entered to win that shout
Oh, yeah.
out. So, Matt,
You could be picked.
what do we got coming up in the show?
Well, as always, we're going to start out with some bizarre news. We got a lot of good news coming out for this first episode of the year. Then we got some Netflix movies. If you want to do some watching, get binging on Netflix, there's tons of shit to watch. We got 2 movies that we both enjoyed. We're going to share with you. And then we're going to wrap it up with the Wheel of Weird, which I don't even know what I want it to land on more. This is ridiculous.
We got good ones.
So
this
we'll
week.
see how that turns out. So stick around.
First off, with our weird news, we always like to start out with a little bit of weed news. And the big news, at least for me, is the fact that California is now a recreational marijuana state, along the likes of Colorado and Washington and a number of other states that have decided to push for recreational marijuana, including Vermont. Now, this comes with some changes to a state that already had a medical style industry for their cannabis. There's things that I personally have encountered when I went to my medical dispensary, which is now changed into a recreational one, is they're not allowed to let you smell the buds anymore, the flowers, when you're purchasing them, because it's going through a distributor now, kind of like how alcohol would be provided to stores. So that's one big thing that kind of sucks. They're trying to find ways around it, setting up a stand that's sort of like a little scratch and sniff thing. You can smell them through the glass or something.
That's kind of shitty.
Taxes also went up.
Yeah, I noticed that. A lot of people aren't happy about that. It seems pretty expensive. I saw a guy bought 3/8, I believe, and his tax was like $40.
It's a lot.
That's scary.
Ours jumped from 19% to 30%.
Now, is that like a good... Well, I mean, yeah, that's 1/3 of the fucking cost. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. So, I went and got 2 oil pens. It was $100. I ended up paying $130.
Wow, man.
So
Yeah.
it's pushing now into the levels where it's not going to be as cheap as getting it on the street. You could go and get cheap illegal bud, if you will, from a dealer and get a cheaper price if you know the guy.
That's what I'm saying. Also, is now is that going to entice a illegal market to occur now, to continue on?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the convenience is more the
It's
driving
worth that
factor
tax?
in that, because I can go and get it from a store whenever I
Anything.
want, rather than
Anything.
even if you're waiting on your guy to give you bud and the store's open.
True. Yeah. I mean, I've only had one experience, and it was one of the most fucking beautiful experiences in my life, I've got to say. So, I can't argue. I mean, it is... I'd pay them tax, I believe, probably, too, myself.
That's how I look at it, and at least it's going towards the community at that point. There's a couple other things, that went into effect. Like, one of the big things is DUIs. If you're caught driving high or smoking while driving, you can get a DUI, and they're pushing that through and making that a big statement so that people know you can't just get behind the wheel after having a blunt. You can't smoke in public. You can't smoke within 1,000 feet of a school or daycare center when children are present. You can't smoke and drive, like I said before.
Damn.
And local governments and authorities have the availability to make their own rules to govern use. which, may cause confusion for people who are applying to either start a cannabis business or even own a couple plants themselves.
Yeah.
So it's not uniform across the state by any means. Even Kern County, for one example, they're not allowing any cannabis businesses.
Okay. Damn.
One good thing that comes out of this, Jack in the Box is the first fast food restaurant to kind of endorse recreational marijuana. They partnered with a digital media company backed by Snoop Dogg to create a new munchie meal for hungry smokers. They have these late night munchie meals that are like $5 and you get like tacos and like a burger and like a bunch of shit. And it's usually been aimed at stoners for the most part. This one is actually called the Merry Munchie Meal. It will be available at 3 California locations for a week in January. So it's kind of like a little promotional thing.
Yeah.
The price, $4.20.
Nice.
So
Perfect fitting. It's that self-advertising.
it includes 2 tacos, french fries, onion rings, 5 mini churros, 3 chicken strips, and a small drink.
God damn, they're hooking the stoners up.
Oh, that's a lot for $4.
Dude, for $4.20?
Hell yeah. That's
God. I can't even get a coffee and like a bacon, egg, and cheese for that.
You could like split that with someone for like $2.10 a piece.
You really could,
Nothing.
yeah. There's enough calories there for 2 people.
So if you want to read a little bit more about that, we're going to be posting that article that I was pulling from up on our Facebook page on Monday, as we do with our weed news.
Well, our next story is way too goddamn relatable to me because it has to deal with this goddamn cold. And it is fucking freezing, and it's coast to coast. I know you're dealing with it quite a bit too. It's chilly over there, even though it's nothing. It's nothing like what I'm dealing with.
Oh, I'd imagine.
Dude, it's so cold. I tried to start my girlfriend's car today, and then I went to start my truck, and both of them were like not wanting to start.
Really?
The batteries
Damn.
were like drained overnight. It's below zero here in New York right now. It is just fucking bitter, and our story is going to cover just how fucking bitter it is. Starting off with, in Massachusetts, it's so fucking cold that sharks are washing up on the shore, and they're stranded due to cold shock. They're literally just going into cardiac arrest because it's that cold in the ocean. And also, other animals, all the way down to Florida, they're having iguanas freeze up, and what happens when an iguana, subdues temperatures that are below 50, they start to get slow, and then they just stop. They freeze up.
Yeah.
So when they're in these trees,
Any cold-blooded animal,
they just fall out of the trees.
they're not going to survive.
They do. They say that if you find a frozen iguana, put him in the sun and he'll thaw out eventually.
Oh, I thought you're supposed to thaw them in warm water.
No. From what I saw...
You don't submerge them?
Are you fucking with me? Drowning an iguana?
Oh my god. I've drowned so many iguanas, I didn't know.
I just keep putting them in warm water and they're not coming back. I don't get it.
They start to kick and then they just stop. It's terrible.
Yeah. It's kind of creepy though, because like there's a ton of fucking photos like all over social media of these iguanas that just like look like they're fucking dead, like flopped out. People are finding them, like one's like hanging on the edge of a pool.
Oh, God.
Half in the pool.
Yo, so are they conscious, you think, while this is happening?
Yeah, well, think about like as a human, you probably do the same thing. Your muscles probably lock up a little bit, and you can't move anymore because
like
your blood can't
paralysis.
flow. Once your blood can't flow, you turn to like fucking stone, you know?
You'd have no oxygen in your brain either. It's probably just slowed down to a real slow creep. That one picture I saw where it was the iguana, like you said, on the edge of the pool, that's so terrifying. To think of being
Yeah.
that iguana.
Dude, I hope his little back isn't broken.
Well, I would just be like, all right, don't let your weight shift. Like, as much as you can, don't fall in that pool, because you're done.
Yeah.
You
Oh my
gotta
God.
sink like a fucking stone iguana.
He just looks like that dude at the party that drank too much and was like, I'm gonna fucking do it! And he jumps off the fucking pool roof and does a flip and lands on the fucking deck.
Breaker on the edge of the pool. It never ends well.
It's so fucking cold here, Niagara Falls appears to have been frozen over.
Oh, wow.
And that's something
That's a
that
lot of
doesn't
water.
happen. Yeah, 680,000 gallons pouring over that fall, like each second. Like that's how much there is. Fucking insane.
So it's just getting backed up and frozen over?
Yeah. So basically, the temperatures are around -11 in the water, and it's been freezing slowly but slowly. And it's not all the way frozen, but there's a cover edge on it, and it looks just like it's really fucking cool the way it looks.
Huh.
In all the photos that I've seen.
Yeah, I bet that doesn't happen that often. So we got dead iguanas, we got icicle sharks, got frozen Niagara Falls.
Now, one of the worst things about it being so fucking cold is that salt doesn't work anymore, and fucking the roads still freeze up. So that becomes quite the issue when you have to drive somewhere. Like if you gotta work, like you, weather says it has nothing to do with what you do. You have to be there regardless. You don't get snow days, right?
That's yeah.
You know, if you were in the Northeast, would you get a snow day?
No, you know what? In news, what they do is they were nice and they sent people out in like the big news vans that like won't get stuck.
Yeah, but you still had to work.
Oh yeah.
You had to get there in your personal vehicle.
You still got to work, and they try and convince you to not leave for your safety. So then it's like, fuck them. Now they want me to work.
Yeah, you shouldn't leave, so you're gonna cover the next person's
You're not gonna
shift and
strand
be
me
here
in
for 20
here
hours.
with a snowstorm. Fuck that. I'm walking home. You can find me in a snowbank.
Yeah, the point being is like it's so shitty like for the people that have to go. You got no choice, but you have to make it to work.
Doctors,
because
police
like
officers.
the road temperatures can easily achieve negative 20 on the temperature wise, and all it has to do is get below 0 degrees Fahrenheit, and road salt is no longer applicable.
And that's something I didn't realize. I guess is that like once it hits a certain temperature, it's like it's useless.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Weapons are useless. The salt's not working.
Oh, yeah, dude, it fucking sucks. They gotta come up with something that's extra potent, but then it's gonna be like fucking acid to the roads. Just fucking the roads are like gone after the first year they try this shit out.
So right now in New York, is it like the fucking scenes in Day After Tomorrow with like Jake Gyllenhaal and Dennis Quaid burning fucking books just to keep alive?
It feels like that right now. Like I was outside today and I was thinking, I was like, if somehow my heat stopped working today, like I would be fucked. Like it would have to be. I would have to like figure out a way to heat this place. Like if the electric went out and shit, I'd be fucking like screwed.
Yeah,
like we'd have to evacuate. It's that cold, man. You could not survive. Like even with all the blankets, I feel like
there have been a couple of fatalities from the cold, from what I heard across the country. It's
yeah.
bad.
They're actually they're setting up a lot of different organizations to help the homeless people. Like numbers that you can call. Like in my local area, you can call 311, and they'll bring you to like social help that'll come pick up a homeless person. If you see them outside freezing, like just call this number and they'll send somebody to get them and put them in a shelter.
Yeah,
which I thought that we need to do shit like that. Yeah,
because I've also heard stories of people in cities who are homeless sleeping on vents when it's cold and stuff, and then you get burned by the vent. So it's like either you die from the cold or you get burned by a fucking vent. And like if there's stuff out there to help people. Because the sharks can't take it, people can't take it, turtles can't take it, iguanas are falling from trees. Shit's fucked up across this country.
In Florida, no less. Damn it.
Yep.
There's no escape.
Well, we're heading somewhere else now. We're going to Oregon, where people are freaking out about pumping their own gas.
Haha. I got a personal kick out of this story.
Well, Oregon and New Jersey were the only two states where people didn't have to pump their own gas, and it'd been like that for a while, since like the 50s or so. But a new law signed last year by Governor Kate Brown of Oregon took effect Monday, and now people are required to self-serve at gas pumps.
Poor them.
Start learning how to pump. I guess on Facebook there was some backlash. People were like going nuts because they're like, I'm a native Oregonian, I haven't pumped gas ever, and I'm 62. I say no thanks, I don't want to smell like gasoline. It's like, first off, dude. Unless you're like having a gasoline fight like that scene in Zoolander, you're gonna be fine. You ain't smelling like gas.
Yeah. Don't fucking light a lighter. You're good. I've seen people on the
hard.
cell phones, like you get covered in foam. That's what happens when you use your cell phone at a pump. It doesn't blow up.
Yeah, and I've heard that
sets off the rack.
The few things with the cell phone, it was like static electricity that really set it off.
Yeah.
It's the vapors that you got to worry about. So people are pissed in Oregon. They're getting made fun of course, because they're throwing this out there on Facebook, and people are just like, come on.
Come on.
Yeah, and
everybody in New York's like, come on.
If people
you don't even worry about freezing to death.
If people have a disability or they're elderly, I'm sure that the gas station owners would be happy to accommodate them. I believe I've seen things where it's like, if you need help, please press this button and someone will come out and help you.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's not an option. Like if you need the help, it will be there. But if you're a capable human being who can operate a vehicle, then you can fucking pump gas. Like if you can drive that thing down the road to the gas station, I guarantee you can work a pump. Come on, man.
Like when you used to get your license, when they first started issuing license, you had to be able to do a basic maintenance on the vehicle. You had to do
like an oil change and
do
shit?
certain mechanical. Yeah, you
Change
literally
the tire.
were required to do a few certain things, like changing a tire. Like you had to crank start old cars when licenses were first like fucking
Like wind
issue,
up the
so-
front of it? Like a,
Yeah, so like there was a lot you
Jack
had
in
to
the
do.
box?
So you just couldn't just like show up and like learn the basics of like the parking. Granted, like we have way more crazy schemes with the parking and the road structures today
true.
that you have to deal with. But still, you have to do some fucking mechanical work.
Yeah, it's good to know
crazy.
yourself. We're kind of going through some of that mechanical shit with cars right now, as you know.
Yeah,
Looking
that's
for a
never
new
fun.
one or debating whether or not to fix it.
What to do?
But,
Yeah.
At least I know how to pump my own gas. So I guess the only state in the union that's gonna still have people pumping your gas is Jersey, which I've encountered once or twice accidentally driving into New Jersey. And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
someone comes up to my car. I'm like, "What are you doing?" I don't have money for a tip, man. I don't know what you're thinking you're getting.
Yeah, you gotta be careful when you're in New York City because you could slip over and go to Jersey and fucking you'll get out and try to pump your gas. We're like, whoa, guy. What are you doing? Hey, guy.
You gotta have a fucking standoff over the gas pump. So yeah, that's what's going on in Oregon. People are fucking freaking out. You'll get used to it. I'm not worried.
You'll get used to it after no time. After the first couple pumps, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
You'll be like a champ.
It's not too bad.
We're going from Oregon to PA, where we got a fucking ridiculous story about a poor little 8-pound Bichon. That's a dog that got carried about 4 miles away after it got snatched up by an eagle. By our mascot. Our mascot just snatched this fucking dog up. The thing that caught me about this story right off the bat was the quotation. Now, her brother was watching the dog out in the backyard, and he noticed the eagle flying around, and then the eagle swooped down. And he said, for a moment or two, it was a beautiful sight. For those 2 seconds, it was like, wow, that's beautiful. And then all of a sudden he realized, oh no, it has Zoe.
Zoe, their little Bichon Frise dog.
8-pound dog. And apparently the brother drove around for an hour. Now, it doesn't say if the sister wasn't around when this happened.
Okay.
So I'm imagining he was watching the dog while she was away or something.
You let the dog out for 5 minutes and it gets snatched up by an avian fucking monster.
So he drives around for an hour frantically looking for any sign of the dog. And then he just gave up and he called his sister to break the news.
It's like, yeah, I don't know. It happened so quick. Shit got carried off. I didn't have a gun.
I'm just gonna
threw a
say
rock.
Zoe's gone.
That's I'm imagining this dog is a good size though. It's a small dog, but that's it would have to be a big bird to carry this dog off.
Well, eagles have a lot of power, man, so they could probably pick up a dog twice her size, I'd imagine. She's only 8 pounds. That's pretty little, man. I mean, think about 8 pounds. You could chuck that probably a good 50 to 100 feet.
It's like a raccoon. I'd say an 8-pound dog is probably.
Put a handle on that dog. I'm guaranteeing you, I can vault that thing a good 50 to 100 feet.
You're shot putting dogs now.
Yeah.
8 pounds. Well, I'm
Yeah.
thinking like a bowling ball. Like a bowling ball is probably about 8 pounds. So
Nah,
that's kinda
they go.
heavy.
A male's bowling ball is like 15,
Okay. Huh.
so it's almost double.
Maybe I can't figure this out. Like, what's the wing speed velocity of an American bald eagle carrying a
We're
Bichon
gonna have
Frise?
to Google that.
Is this an African eagle? No, it's an American eagle.
No, it's American. Is it bald or is it brown?
It grabs it by the husks, I think is how this all works out.
So, he gave up, he told her. She was heartbroken, of course, but not just, about the dog, her love for the dog, but her granddaughter apparently loved the dog.
Fuck.
So she had to break
There's a
break it
kid
to her
involved.
granddaughter. They just, she called her husband, and they devised some plan to search, but they kept searching for the dog. They couldn't find it. But apparently, luck would have it that somebody else had found the dog. And that's when they saw a Facebook post after they found the dog, looking for, all lost dogs on Facebook and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And she called her. She's like, I got your dog. And they couldn't believe it. She found her on the side of the road, okay, a little cut up, but really not bad. There was no, crazy injuries that required surgery or anything, which is surprising
Wow.
for a dog. They got picked up by these razor-sharp talons.
Right?
And fucking carried for 4 miles.
You'd think you'd find 3 puncture wounds in the side or something, or 6.
Yeah.
2 on either
Yeah,
side.
no. Apparently the dog, just had minor injuries. A few missing patches of fur, some bruises, but really otherwise in good health.
Damn.
Very fucking lucky. Very lucky. And now the dog's back home recovering.
It was almost a fucking midday snack for that eagle.
Almost, man. But he, like the article says, he bit off more than he could chew.
I bet that dog never thought he'd fly though.
Yeah,
Never
man.
in his
right?
life.
Yeah, I don't know if he took it the pleasant way. Apparently, the dog doesn't want to go outside now.
Oh shit, I wouldn't either. Fuck that. Getting snatched, he'd be like looking over his little shoulder the entire time, like, oh god.
Like, he's never gonna be comfortable outside again.
Sky demons.
What would you do? Like if a griffin just showed up and fucking snatched you up and brought you 5 miles and it probably dropped you a good.
Yo,
good
I
ways
would
down.
not go outside without a knife held over my shoulder at all times,
God.
like, or a sword, fucking broadsword.
sword.
So we're continuing the flights with some disturbing flight experiences, with a flight from Chicago O'Hare International Airport to Hong Kong, which was grounded after a man defecated and made a mess of 2 bathrooms. Now, we cover a lot of airlines.
Same guy, different bathroom.
Yeah, you know, that's just the tip of the iceberg here. We talk about airline travel a lot on this podcast and just how stressful and cramped it can be. One man messing up both bathrooms, everyone on that flight probably wanted to kill this guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, dude, how would you feel? It's like everything is annoying when you're on an airplane.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's so annoying. You're crammed in this little tube with a shit ton of people.
Breathing
and now some
everyone's
asshole
farts.
just broke both of the bathrooms on deck.
Yep.
And we got fucking like 8 hours left at least.
Well, that's why they ended up grounding it in Alaska. So the flight was from Chicago to Hong Kong. That's a hell of a flight, and you don't want to go over the Pacific without a bathroom. The flight, United Airlines flight, landed in Anchorage, Alaska at about 4:50 Alaska Standard Time. And a man was taken off of the plane and taken to a hospital for a psychological evaluation after he tried to use the lavatory, made a mess of both lavatories, and also took off the shirt he was wearing and tried to flush it down the toilet. So,
Oh, man.
I mean, we've all been in this scenario where it's like, I gotta pop this shirt off. I'm gonna be here a while. But you don't do that in a bathroom on an airplane. There's not enough room for you to be doing that. And furthermore, why are you trying to flush your shirt unless you, like, shit up the back of it or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we were talking about this, and it's like...
Who
I'm
flushes
just,
a
like,
shirt?
I want to imagine it's a good guy that just... He had it like one of those crazy movie moments where shit just went wrong, and he's just panicking and digging the hole so fucking deep that there is no recovery.
Yep.
But I mean...
This is a straight Dumb and Dumber shit situation.
Oh my god. He's shit everywhere.
This man's clearly just... He needs help.
He shit everywhere! Look what he did! He shit all over the wall!
Yeah, he was, like I said, he was taken off the flight in Alaska. I'm assuming they
I hope.
continued on to their destination. He got his psych evaluation, and they just said, you know, he was taken off because he was a disruptive passenger.
Oh my god! My house is full of shit!
And I would say cramming the toilets full of shirts and whatever else you're putting in there, messing up the bathrooms, that's disruptive enough to get you kicked off. Fuck that.
Yeah, I would say so. Fuck yeah.
Just give me a whole new plane at that point. I don't even want to be on the plane after that.
I mean, what did they do? Did they remove everybody and then, like, maintenance to the bathrooms and then bring everybody back?
The way this is written, it almost sounds as if they just took him off and continued on. It's like,
Yeah, we just pulled his shirt and all his shit out of the fucking toilets, and we're good to go, everybody. We're going to be taking off in about 10 minutes here.
yeah, it's pretty terrible. That's a nightmarish plane situation for you. I wouldn't want to deal with that at all.
Well, we're going from one nightmare to another nightmare, and this occurs in Tampa, Florida. Now, a Florida contractor says he was attacked while he was doing some fire safety inspections on an apartment by a bobcat.
A fucking bobcat in an apartment?
He is the way he's portraying it is he's affected, man. He is like really, he's hurt from this bobcat. It has physically hurt him, which I can't find any details about how bad. There's no like proof of the injuries
Would
apparently.
it eviscerate his calf?
But he, like the way he's playing it off, he's emotionally scarred from just being surprised as soon as he opened the door by a fucking bobcat hiding inside this woman's condo.
Wild fucking bobcats.
The owner's claim is that she doesn't have a bobcat. She has a 10-pound domestic long-haired kitty named Callie.
That seems a little more likely.
It does seem likely, And I'm looking at a photo of her holding up Callie, and I'm going to tell you, Callie looks like she's got some devilish eyes. So I wouldn't be surprised if she
You're not putting it past her?
the minx behind this operation.
Possibly. I mean, I know that, like, we both have cats. My one cat, if
Yeah.
he sees strangers, he books it. The other cat,
Yeah.
she'll go up and get pet. So, like, you know, they all have all kinds of personalities.
Yeah, like, well, this story's kind of confusing. It goes back and forth between the, two different stories
It doesn't
here.
seem to tell you who's right.
But yeah, it really doesn't. But one thing that I picked up on was that the owner had said that she came home and her cat seemed a little distraught. Like, one of them was hiding under the bed.
Okay.
She has another cat it's a black cat, and she knew that wasn't the cat that he was describing because
Okay.
he had described a cat that was spotted and whatnot. And she said that cat was under the bed, and the other cat wouldn't come near her. She was running, around,
Okay.
like away from her. So I mean, I wonder if this guy did something fucked up and then got attacked by the cat, like on his face, and he had to explain it, like why did he get attacked by a cat?
Maybe.
And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna milk it a little more.
It's also weird because he shouldn't be in the apartments alone.
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't know is like maybe like they didn't give the warning. There's got to be some kind of clause that like covers you, because I know like in New York your landlord has to give you like a 24-hour notice
Yep.
if somebody's going to come to your house to do any maintenance.
Same with California, where this was Florida, so I'm not sure.
This was Tampa, yeah.
But either way, they should have the landlord be in there as well, not just some stranger.
Yeah.
Maybe
not
the cat
just
was
a
doing his
stranger.
job. He was fucking guarding the house.
Yeah, fuck yeah, a cat, dude, an attack cat. That's what you want when
Attack
you get a
Bobcat.
cat. Yeah, she says like the lady says she's not denying that he got scratched,
Yeah, it might have.
But what was he doing that got him scratched?
Right? You should have had a witness.
I'm on the lady's side. I'm with the crazy cat lady, man. I've got to say. But, she had her house inspected by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, and there was no bobcat. There was no proof that the bobcat was ever there.
No bobcat droppings.
And obviously a bobcat is at least twice the size of this little harmless Callie.
Yeah, I don't think he knows what cats look like. I think that's the issue here.
It was big. It was a mountain lion. You mean bobcat? Yes, one of those.
It's like some kind of feline. I mean, 10 pounds, it looks like a big cat, so I mean...
That's all his claws. He does have long hair, so his body's a lot bigger than he really appears.
Yeah.
He really is.
That's-
It appears to be.
That's ridiculous. We're talking about a different kind of attack now. In this next article, we have a sumo wrestling champion sentenced for hitting an opponent with a karaoke remote control.
Wait, he smuggled it into like the circle?
No, this was during karaoke. This was
okay.
This wasn't
Okay.
contraband. Like, oh, we hit him with the chair. Like,
He just pulled out a fucking illegal weapon. This shit's getting dramatic, man.
right. So
The ref wasn't looking.
he was fined thousands of pounds, British pounds, after hitting a junior wrestler with a karaoke machine remote control. The former grand champion, let me try this, Harumafuji Kohai, 33, was ordered to pay 500,000 yen, which is approximately 3,280 pounds, which I'm not sure what that is in dollars.
What was it?
3,280 British pounds. He was fined for assaulting the rising sumo star Takanoa Yoshimori. He's 27. A few years younger than him.
$4,000.
This is another passing the torch situation, it sounds like. Either that or he's
Yeah.
interrupting him during the song, which you don't interrupt
Nobody
a man during
wants
his
that.
ballad.
Nah, especially if he's a big sumo wrestler.
Right? and I guess these sumo wrestlers, they're quite famous in Japan.
They get a
They're
lot of
big stars.
respect.
Like people know who they are. So this is big news over there. He began slapping and hitting the young wrestler with the remote control for checking his phone. that was the grand offense that he committed.
Yeah, I could see it. It's like a culture built on respect, and this guy just like wasn't paying attention to his karaoke moment. So he really just fucking took it out the only way he knew. Aggression.
What song do you think the sumo wrestler who attacked the other sumo wrestler was singing when he was so rudely interrupted by this phone nonsense?
I could see like fly like an eagle.
Okay, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Maybe
Fly
Freebird.
like an eagle. You know, I don't know.
Free as a bird now. Get off your phone. Like,
Get out of your phone now!
it's like, come on, man. It's a 10-minute song. Like, fuck.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I gotta not
Yeah.
check my texts for the entire, like, ballad.
Yeah.
So, he was found guilty of assault, and his lawyer released a statement on his behalf. He said, because of this incident, my life as Haruma Fuji is now set to be sharply different from what I thought it would be. I have a feeling of chagrin, to be honest, but the responsibility is all mine. I don't know, people get in fights. It's like an MMA fighter getting in a bar fight. It's like, fucking shit happens.
Oh my god.
People shouldn't fucking interrupt you while you're singing Rocket Man. That's a grave offense.
Yeah, fuck no. You never interrupt a man singing Rocket Man, because he's got some balls to be singing Rocket Man in the first place.
Yeah, seriously.
You don't fuck with him, yeah. Well, we're staying into international news. And in this story, we're talking about the world's most expensive vodka, which is coming in at about $1.3 million.
Damn.
Now, not only are we talking about the most expensive vodka, but we're talking about how it was stolen and also shown up empty on a construction site.
Damn.
Now, you might get crazy worried right off the bat, but the bottle is what's worth the money. Let me
Oh,
start
it's
with
not the vodka?
No, the vodka is probably worth a good amount of money, but luckily the guy that had the bottle has more of that vodka. But the
Okay.
bottle itself is like a commemorative piece, and it's made out of gold, silver, and features a diamond-encrusted cap.
Yo, someone just straight up stole that shit, drank it, threw
like,
the
"Peace."
mad expensive bottle with full of gold and silver and shit on the ground and left.
Yeah, like... Well, I wonder if it was just some asshole that thought, like, maybe the bottle was just fake gold and diamonds and shit, and was like, ha ha ha, the wealth is in here, you know, I'm not gonna be able to sell it without getting caught, so I'm gonna drink it and enjoy it, you know?
Yeah,
They
I
got
guess
shit-faced
so.
drunk.
Oh, it
You
is
know,
a fancy looking bottle. Holy shit.
It's a beautiful bottle, dude. It really is. It's a crazy bottle, and
It's like straight up gold.
it's decorated. Yeah, it's decorated with leather. The reason this bottle was made was to commemorate the century. How do you say that? Centenary?
Centenary or...
Yeah, 100th mark of the company's factory being open. And so basically, the front is decorated with leather. It has a replica of the radiator guard used for Russo-Baltic cars, which is, you know, Russian. The cap is shaped like a Russian imperial eagle and encrusted with diamonds.
Yo, I need to get that.
Yeah. Yo,
shit
the
looks
best
cool.
part about this fucking bottle was featured on House of Cards as a gift from the Russian president to his U.S. counterpart.
Huh.
So
So
is
is this one that you can, like, actually buy, like, somewhere?
No, you can't buy this. It actually just happened to be out on loan to a bar that had a bar in
Wow.
Copenhagen, Denmark. Had it on loan because the bar had been displaying a bunch of like very expensive vodkas and stuff.
Some loudmouth
And-
bartender's just like, yeah, all those bottles are super expensive. They're all
That one right
loan-
there, $1.3 million.
Oh man,
I really want to know.
That's a crazy
Did the
story.
person? Yeah. Like it's so interesting to think about what could have happened with that bottle and why it happened as it did, or you know, if somebody was planning to melt it down or something, and who knows.
Well, moving on into our funny clip, we're actually have one that happened in a bar. This probably happened around New Year's, I'm guessing, New Year's or Christmas.
It's a brutal clip.
We have some fun with fireworks going on, people.
You gotta be careful.
Have you ever wondered what would happen if you put a sparkler in your mouth?
No, because I would never fucking do that because I know what a sparkler does.
Well, thank goodness someone thought about it, because we have some awesome video of a man doing just that. And the interesting thing is, at the point at which he tries to rip it out of his mouth, it looks like the part that's actually sparking comes off in his mouth.
It's fucking horrible, and I feel the hurt watching it. Like I literally cringe watching it.
He opens his mouth and it looks like he's eating a light bulb. It's like just lit up in the back of his fucking throat. It's so terrible. Now,
Yeah.
this just further proves my point that no good idea ever comes when you're in a bar.
Yeah, I mean you got to be careful, man. You're not thinking when you're in a bar.
This guy wasn't
You're
thinking at all,
intoxicated. Nobody's sober going to a bar.
right?
If they are, I don't know. You need to get checked out.
So we're going to be posting that up on our Facebook page. We'll also put it up on Instagram on Wednesdays. That's when our funny clips always go up there. You'll be sure to check that out, our funny sparkler eater over here.
And right before we get to our movies, here's a word from a fellow podcast.
This is Full Start, the show about those presumptuous pictures that studios were sure would spawn a franchise, but didn't.
So back on Eternia,
Yeah.
Skeletor sort of locates the key on Earth
Mm-hmm.
with Google Maps, and then asks where his mercenaries are. He's had to walk past those mercenaries to get into the room.
Yeah.
Guys, Skeletor is rude.
Go on. Okay, go on.
Film does not know what mercenaries are. Evelyn assembles them, but then introduces them to Skeletor as his finest warriors. Are they his warriors, or are they freelancers?
Okay, name them.
Beastman.
Come on. There's at least one. There's one that's an easy one.
I know.
Because some mother always try and ice skate uphill.
Blade.
Thank you. Yeah, that's two.
Look, the fact that we were able to name two
You named
characters
two.
in this
You
film
were able to name two.
instantly makes it better than Planet of the Apes.
If you like that, you can hear more on iTunes, SoundCloud, Twitter, and Facebook at Full Starts Pod.
Alright, so to start off our movie suggestions, I'm talking about Netflix original movie Death Note. Now, this is based off of an anime of the same name. And I really enjoyed this movie. It was one that I watched in like two parts. It was a little long, I would say, for, the plot. But I think it ended well. It wrapped it up very well. The actors were really good in it. I don't know if you watched Boardwalk Empire at all.
Loved it.
The brother who was a cop, he played the father in this. He was really good as the father.
I like that actor a lot.
The main character, Light Turner, is played by Nat Wolff, who has been in a number of other stuff I've seen him in. The Intern, Paper Towns, Ashby, Behaving Badly, Palo Alto. So he's had a storied career here in the movie industry, and I really liked him as in his portrayal of Light. Now, what Death Note is about, it's a high school student named Light Turner who discovers a mysterious book that has the power to kill anyone whose name is written within its pages, and launches a secret crusade to rid the world of criminals. And he sort of goes on that path to do as much good as he can with this power to kill bad, but in doing so, he kind of makes himself into... So he comes into a moral question of, like, is killing for good really bad?
Okay, what started it? Does it cover like the beginning?
Death Note book? It's actually a physical book that is haunted, kind of, or controlled by a demon named Ryuk, spelled R-Y-U-K, and it's this big, creepy demon-looking dude with jet black hair that's slicked back, and he's all spiky and stuff. That's kind of where the anime angle of it, I would say, comes in. And he passes this book along to people, and there's rules with this book. There's like hundreds of rules. Like, you can write someone's name in it, and you can tear it out and burn the page if you don't want to actually have it happen. So, like, there's different things that you can and can't do. Another rule is if you don't write anyone's name in it for 48 hours, the book transfers to someone else.
Like randomly?
Yes. Well, at the discretion of the demon Ryuk, I guess.
Oh, damn. So it attaches itself to somebody.
Yep. And the demon isn't necessarily your friend. He's not a pet. He's not someone that you should really trust.
Wow.
He's in it for the kills, if you will, instead of the thrills.
Was this a Netflix original? No, right?
This was an anime that was written into a screenplay. Screenplay was by Charlie Parla Panet. I'm not even gonna try. It was written by two people for Netflix. Adapted from the anime.
So, but it is a Netflix production. That's what I admit.
Yep. And
that's
yeah,
awesome.
I really enjoyed
Killing
it.
Netflix.
It's a little. I think some of the anime stuff doesn't translate exactly well into like what an American audience would want to see. There's certain points where they're doing stuff and they're having a conversation that's, I would say, a little deep for like a high schooler in a way. But again, it's a movie. There's a demon. It's fantasy. So you got to take it all with a grain of salt. It got a 4.6 out of 10 on IMDb, which that's not really that good. And
but again,
can't always trust it.
can't always trust it.
And on the tomato meter, it got 39% with an audience score of 25%. So I think you gotta kind of be familiar with the anime and like have a bit of an understanding of that before jumping right into this. And I feel like the same thing's gonna end up happening with Attack on Titan, I believe.
Yeah,
they're making the live action of that.
That's gonna be a rough one because that's one of the biggest animes of all.
Yeah, it's definitely a popular one. So I don't know. It's like if they took Dragon Ball Z and did a live Dragon Ball Z movie.
Notice how that hasn't been achieved yet by mainstream fucking, in the United States.
And there's almost, I would say, a reason to it because it's like certain things don't adapt over
Pokemon
into live. Yeah, there's never gonna be a live Pokemon besides
there shouldn't be.
Pokemon
and if there is,
on
I'm
Ice.
probably most likely I'm gonna say I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah.
And if I do, I'm gonna acknowledge that I said this.
So I mean that's Death Note. Give it a try. It's on Netflix. I enjoyed it. It's you gotta suspend your disbelief a little bit because like it's a magical book where if you write people's names they die. So
yeah, and I got a movie that's gonna be a similar warning ahead of time, like Bright. It's a movie that I found. We both talked about it. You were actually about to pick it too. I kind of stole this from you.
Yep.
It's a Netflix original featuring Will Smith and Joel Edgerton. I gotta say, starting off, this film received a lot of hate from the critics, a lot of fans too.
It's an odd concept.
It's an odd concept, okay? It's a movie that occurs in present time, but it also features like humans and mythological creatures. So you know where that goes. It's hard to pull that off right. And I've got to say there's a couple cringeworthy moments in the movie. I'll just say one off the bat that I remember was there's a fairy in the beginning. And in this world, fairies are kind of like varmint pests that are just pain in the dick. And this fairy's like fucking with Will Smith's bird feeder on his house.
Oh, yes. I saw this in the trailer, actually.
He goes outside and he's like going to deal with this shit. And he whacks the fairy down to the ground and he says, "Fairy lives don't matter today, motherfucker." So, like, there's the tie-in to current culture with it that's kind of cringeworthy right at that moment, like stupid sayings like that. Like,
right.
But other than that, I didn't notice anything else that was really too bad.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed the way they did the effects. I really liked the storyline they painted.
The makeup looked really cool on a lot of the characters.
The way that Joel Edgerton came out as an orc was amazing. You couldn't recognize him at all. I really liked, they touched on social issues in a lot of different ways that I did enjoy too. And, the movie occurs with Will Smith being the main character and followed by Joel Edgerton. And they're police officers. And Joel's the first orc, police officer. So it's a big deal. And it starts out with that. And then internal investigations get involved trying to turn the partners against each other. And that goes on this whole crazy arc, all involving magic, which is outlawed in this world. It's what I like to imagine it is like Skyrim took an advanced 2,000 years into what we are. You know? So it's present day LA that this all occurs, which is really cool too. I love that it's a perfect fitting for it.
Right. It looks really interesting. I'm definitely gonna watch it soon.
Yeah, you see a separation of like classes. The orcs apparently chose the wrong backing 2,000 years ago at a major war between like some dark lord and shit.
So it's got some history to it.
Yeah, and you see that the orcs are really treated shittily in the community. Elves are all rich, so there's really some social class issues that are going on that you can identify
that's
with
interesting.
Present day playing on. So I thought that was really cool how they did that. That's why it was so hard for this orc to become a cop. He's the first cop ever orc,
There's always
it's crazy. And he's a good guy, and they're just expecting him to be a bad dude because orcs are looked down on.
Okay.
He wants to break the barrier.
A lot of themes being played with, it sounds like.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed that. I've got to say, this is one of the best movies I've seen in the last few months. I really enjoyed it. I was very surprised that a lot of people hated it. It's all what you overlook. If you want to be a critique and tear apart something, it's easy to do that. But it's all on a bias, no matter what you say. It's all your own personal view. So my opinion is just I liked it myself, and check it out. You might like it.
Yeah. Do you want to? Should I hit him with the numbers?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hit them with them. They're not too good. I'll tell you that.
Well, 6.5 on IMDb out of 10.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Better than what I suggested. Rotten Tomatoes, it said 28%, but the audience score was 87%.
So, which is nice because that means that some people are able to look past the bullshit.
They're on your side with that, definitely. So
Yeah.
definitely check out Bright, check out Death Note, both on Netflix originals, well, or adaptations in Death Note's case. They're available for as long as they're up on there, so check them out.
Check them out.
So now we're getting on to the Wheel of Weird.
That's really fucking weird.
This is where we take a person, place, and thing from the Wiki Unusual page. Matt has a little spinner that he spins, and whatever it lands on for person, place, or thing, we are going to talk about. We have some interesting ones picked out. As Matt spins the spinner and sees what it's going to land on, I will tell you the names of our person, place, and thing. For person, it's actually a group of people. It's the Biotic Baking Brigade, so maybe we'll get to hear about them. For place, it's Euthant or Belmont Island. Where could that possibly be? Maybe we'll find out. For thing, we're talking about Hatebeak. See what happens. What we're gonna end up landing on here. How's it looking, Matt? What's our spinner telling us?
Whoa, we landed on our thing. And I've got to say, I couldn't be more fucking pleasant about this.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm super happy that we landed on our thing. That is Hatebeak. And Hatebeak is a death metal band formed by Blake Harrison, Mark Sloan, featuring Waldo, a Congo African gray parrot. It's the only band to have an avian vocalist.
And I had known about this one ahead of time. I love Hatebeak. I saw them go viral on social media way back, and it's an African gray parrot, isn't it?
Yeah, Congo African gray.
Yeah. He's fucking awesome. They digitize his screaming, and it's pretty funny.
Hatebeak is signed to Reptilian Records. They don't tour because they don't want to torture the bird. But the band split up in 2009 and reunited in 2015. Birds live a while.
Nice.
That's right. I forgot. They're around for
100 years. Yeah, especially African grays are the smartest parrot as well.
The band's sound has been described as a jackhammer being ground in a compactor.
Oh my god.
Aquarius Record magazine.
That's brutal.
Called Hatebeak Furious and Blasting Death Metal. Hatebeak made its second record with Canis, a band whose lead singers were two dogs. Hatebeak's goal was to raise the bar for extreme music.
That's legit. I'm gonna check out the dog band. They get an honorable mention in the Wheel of Weird. That's great. I haven't checked that out, but I can imagine it.
I guess they played with a couple of other bands before. I clicked on one called Pig Destroyer. I thought we'd have a pig, but it's just actual dudes.
Ah, damn. They don't have a hog.
Their discography includes Beak of Putrefaction, Bird Seeds of Vengeance, and The Thing That Should Not Beak. That's they have some awesome fucking names for their albums here.
I'm really digging it. I didn't even notice the names. Fucking great. So they're funny as hell.
Go add Hatebeak on Spotify. Check them out. Support your local avian acts.
And while you're checking out things on the internet, why don't you stop by our Facebook? Don't forget to stop by the American Slackers group where you can chime in yourself and have conversation with all the other slackers that are out there. Also, stop by Instagram. Search American Slacker Podcast. You'll find all the promos for every show we do and a bunch of other cool images. Don't forget to stop by the main hub as well. aspodcast.com, AmericanSlackerPodcast.com. Either way, you'll get there. You'll see what's up with the show.
You can also find us on Twitter and Reddit at AMERSLKR. That is at AMERSLKR, Amber Slacker Podcast. Please also check out our YouTube. Go and subscribe over there. All of our episodes get put up on there, along with any content that we're working on into the new year here. Please rate and review us, 5 stars or nothing, on iTunes. Them's the rules, son. 4-star guy, hit us up. We still want to talk to you.
Got something to say to you.
And also tell a friend about the show, please. That's a great way to spread the word and get more people listening to Slacker shit.
Hell yeah. Speaking of that 4-star guy, send us an email. And if you don't know our email, it's AmericanSlackerPodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out the Spotify playlist. American Slacker Podcast, you'll find every artist that has been featured on the show, some guests that we've had on the show, and just the music we review in general. So check it out.
You can also become a Patreon sponsor of the show. It's a great way to help support us in what we do and help grow this thing that we call American Slacker Podcast. And you also get a bunch of rewards with like shout outs on the show. We're going to be adding more stuff as we go. There's a bunch of bonus content up there. It's only available to the Patreon sponsors. So please think about going over there to patreon.com/American Slacker Podcast.
Don't forget to check us out on our personals. You can find me on Instagram at MWG Media. You can find me on Snapchat and my Xbox Live gamer tag at MattyG from HP.
And you can find me on all of the social media and Xbox at Landers the Plane.
And until next time, thank you everybody for tuning in to the episode, to Instagram Live. We love every one of you. Until next time, that's it.
There you go.